I was walking down the street when a woman approached me with a scowl on her face. She looked like she was ready to argue about something, and I immediately braced myself for the worst. "Excuse me," she said, her tone laced with entitlement. "I need your help." I looked at her warily, wondering what she could possibly want from me. "What do you need?" "My son wants to play with your phone," she said, gesturing to the young boy beside her. "Can he use it for a little while?" I shook my head in disbelief. "I'm sorry, but no, I don't let strangers use my phone." The woman's expression turned angry. "Excuse me, who do you think you are? My son is bored, and he wants to play a game. Let him use your phone. Don't be like that." I started to back away, but the woman followed me, her voice growing louder with every step. "How dare you be so selfish? My son deserves to be entertained, and you won't even let him use your phone. What kind of person are you?" I could feel my blood pressure rising as the woman continued to berate me. Who did she think she was, demanding that I hand over my personal property to her child? I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself down. "Look, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to let your son use my phone. It's my property, and I have the right to say no." The woman's face turned bright red, and she balled her fists. "Fine, if you won't let my son use your phone, then you can just give me your wallet instead." I stared at her in disbelief. "What? No way! I'm not giving you my wallet." The woman stepped closer to me, her eyes blazing with fury. "Give me your wallet, or I'll make you regret it." I took a step back, trying to put some distance between us. "You can't just threaten me like that. Get away from me." But the woman wasn't listening. She lunged at me, grabbing at my purse and trying to wrestle it away from me. I struggled to hold onto it, my heart racing with fear. "Let go!" I shouted, my fingers tightening around the strap. "What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you acting like this?" The woman didn't answer. She just kept pulling at my purse, her face twisted with anger. I could feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins, and I knew I had to do something before things got even worse. I pulled back with all my strength, yanking the purse out of her grasp. She stumbled backwards, her eyes widening in shock. "You witch!" she screamed, lunging at me again. I sidestepped her, my heart pounding in my chest. "Get away from me! I'm calling the police!" The woman glared at me, her eyes flashing with hatred. "You think you're so special, don't you? Well, you're not. You're just like everyone else, and I'll make sure you regret crossing me." I fumbled in my pocket for my phone, my fingers shaking with fear and anger. I dialed 911 and waited for someone to pick up. "911? What's your emergency?" a voice asked. "There's a woman here who's trying to steal from me," I said, my voice shaking. "She's attacking me and I don't know what to do." "Okay, ma'am. Stay calm. Can you give me your location?" I rattled off the address of the street corner where I was standing, and the operator told me that they would send someone over right away. "Stay on the line with me," she said. "Can you describe the woman who's attacking you?" I took a deep breath and tried to steady my voice. "She's in her late 30s with long brown hair and a green shirt. She's about 5'6" and she's very aggressive." "Okay, we'll send someone over right away. Can you stay on the line with me until they arrive?" I nodded, even though the operator couldn't see me. "Yes, please. I'm really scared." The operator kept me talking, asking me questions about what was happening and trying to keep me calm. I could hear the woman in the background, still yelling and cursing at me. Finally, I saw a police car pull up to the curb. 2 officers got out, and I ran over to them, my heart pounding with relief. "There she is!" I cried, pointing at the woman who had been attacking me. "She's been trying to steal from me and attacking me." The police officers quickly took control of the situation, separating me from the woman and asking us both to explain what had happened. I told them the whole story, from the woman's initial demand to use my phone to her attempt to steal my wallet. The woman tried to deny everything, but the police weren't buying it. They searched her purse and found a small knife, which they promptly confiscated. "Ma'am," one of the officers said, turning to me, "we're going to take this woman into custody. Would you like to press charges?" I thought about it for a moment, my hands still shaking with adrenaline. "Yes," I said finally. "I want to press charges. She needs to learn that she can't just attack people like this." The police took down my statement and the woman was handcuffed and taken away. I watched her go, feeling a mix of anger and relief. I couldn't believe that someone would act like that, demanding my personal property and then trying to steal from me when I refused. It was a typical Friday night, and I was out with my friends at our favorite karaoke bar. We'd been going there for years, and we knew all the regulars and the staff. It was always a good time, but this particular night was about to take a turn for the worse. As I was singing my heart out to Livin' on a Prayer, I noticed a woman glaring at me from across the room. She was probably in her mid-40s, with a severe haircut and a scowl on her face that could curdle milk. I didn't think much of it at the time, figuring she was just having a bad day. But as soon as I finished my song and stepped off stage, the woman marched over to me and started shouting, "Excuse me, that was my song. I was waiting to sing it and you stole it from me." I was taken aback. "I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your song. You can go ahead and sing it next if you want." But the woman wasn't having it. "No, it's too late now. You ruined it for me. You're just like all these entitled brats who think the world revolves around them." I was getting angry now. "Excuse me, I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one making a scene here." The woman huffed and crossed her arms. "I demand to speak to your manager," she said. I laughed out loud. "This isn't a restaurant," I said. "There's no manager here. And even if there was, what could they possibly do about me singing a song before you?" The woman was livid. "You're just trying to intimidate me. I won't stand for it. I demand that you apologize and give me something in return for ruining my night." I was so done with this woman by now. "I'm not going to apologize for singing a song, and I'm certainly not going to give you anything. You're being ridiculous." That's when things really took a turn. The woman lunged at me, grabbing at my purse and trying to pull it away from me. "You owe me something," she screamed. "I demand compensation." I held onto my purse for dear life, not willing to let this crazy woman take it from me. "Get away from me. What is wrong with you?" The woman backed off, looking flustered. "I just want what's fair. I deserve to be compensated for your rudeness." I rolled my eyes. "You're not getting anything from me. Now, please leave me alone." The woman muttered something under her breath and stormed off, leaving me shaken and confused. I couldn't believe someone would act so entitled and aggressive over a song. But I knew I wouldn't let her ruin my night. I got back up on stage and belted out "Don't Stop Believin'," feeling more empowered than ever. As for the woman, I never saw her again. But I did hear from some of the other regulars that she had a reputation for causing scenes and trying to get free stuff from people. I guess entitlement knows no bounds. And that's the story of the entitled woman who tried to ruin my night. I'm just glad I didn't let her get the best of me. I'm excited to tell you the story of how I ended up on the Entitled Parents subreddit. It was a crazy day, to say the least. Let me start with a bit of backstory about myself. My name is Natalie, and I'm a 28-year-old photographer. I love capturing the beauty of the world through my lens, whether it be landscapes, animals, or people. I had just moved to a new city and was excited to explore and find some new photography opportunities. One day, I decided to check out a local farmer's market. I heard it was a great place to get fresh produce and unique handmade items. As soon as I arrived, I knew I was going to love it. The smells of fresh bread and flowers filled the air, and the colorful booths were filled with all sorts of interesting things. I had just finished taking some photos of a beautiful display of flowers when I noticed a woman eyeing my camera. She had a scowl on her face, as if she was angry that I was taking photos. I didn't think anything of it and continued on my way. As I was walking around, I noticed the same woman following me. She kept staring at my camera and making snide comments under her breath. I tried to ignore her, but she was really starting to get on my nerves. Finally, I had enough and decided to confront her. "Is there a problem?" I asked. She glared at me and said, "Yes, there is. You have no right to take photos of people without their permission." I was taken aback. "I haven't taken any photos of people without their permission. I've just been taking photos of the flowers and booths." She scoffed. "That's not what I heard. You're probably just trying to sell them or something." I rolled my eyes. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just taking photos for my personal use. Well, I don't believe you. I demand you delete any photos you've taken of me and my child. I was getting really annoyed now. I haven't taken any photos of you or your child. I don't even know who you are. She huffed and crossed her arms. Fine, but I'm keeping an eye on you. I thought that was the end of it, but boy was I wrong. A little while later, I was taking photos of some fresh produce when the same woman came storming up to me. Give me your camera, she demanded. What? No way, I said, backing away. I saw you taking photos of me and my child earlier. You have no right to do that, she yelled. I told you before, I didn't take any photos of you or your child, I replied. Stop lying! Give me your camera now, she shouted, reaching out to grab it. I pulled my camera out of her reach and started to walk away, but she wasn't done yet. She chased after me and grabbed onto my backpack, trying to pull me back. I turned around and said, What is your problem? You're acting crazy. I'm not crazy. You're the one who's invading people's privacy and lying about it, she screeched. At this point, a crowd had gathered around us, and some people were trying to intervene. But the woman wouldn't let go of my backpack, and I was getting really scared. Finally, a security guard came over and asked what was going on. The woman started to spin a lie about how I had been taking photos of her and her child without their permission and refused to delete them. But luckily, there were some witnesses who spoke up and confirmed that she was lying and that I had been taking photos of the flowers and produce. The security guard asked to see my camera and looked through the photos. He didn't find any photos of the woman or her child, just a bunch of photos of the market. I'm sorry, ma'am, but she hasn't done anything wrong, the security guard said to the woman. The woman looked angry and defeated at the same time. She let go of my backpack and stormed off, muttering to herself. I was relieved that it was over, but also a bit shaken up. As I was packing up my camera, a woman approached me and said, I saw what happened. You handled that really well. I smiled at her. Thanks. It was definitely a crazy situation. Yeah, entitled parents can be a real pain, she said, nodding her head towards the woman who had just left. I raised my eyebrows. Entitled parents? The woman laughed. Oh, you don't know about the subreddit r entitled parents. It's all about parents who think they're entitled to special treatment just because they have kids. I was intrigued and decided to check it out later, but for now, I was just happy to have made it out of that situation unscathed. And who knows, maybe one of my photos from the market would end up on my Instagram page or even in a magazine. As I walked away, I couldn't help but chuckle at the thought of the entitled parent trying to take my camera by force. Sarcastically, I muttered to myself, yeah, that's definitely how you win an argument. My mom has been homesick for the past 6 years, and my dad works half-time, so they have a lot of free time on their hands. Since I have a job where I can work from home, they think I don't have to work anymore either. Last week, my mom sent a message right before lunch. But as it was a very busy day, I saw it commit and deleted the notification because I had to finish a task before noon. We then had a lunch date with colleagues, so the entire lunch break was spent eating, socializing, and then we had to hurry back to the office because we had an entire afternoon of meetings. Right before the first meeting, barely 2 hours after my mom's first message, she sent another one, hello, are you okay? But I didn't want to start the conversation then because whenever my mom sends a message, it's never just one message. It's always 10 questions and 10 stories of things she encountered the past few days. I got on with my meetings, hurried home, made dinner, ate, and started with the bigger breaking work in our bathroom so that I could be done with it as soon as possible. At around 7, when I was actually done, I saw that she had sent another message. Hello, are you still alive? So already feeling pushed to reply after a very busy day, I did. I told her that I had been very busy and would be the next few days. Without any regard to my busy days, she started to bombard me with all the questions she had wanted to ask during my workday. It took me over an hour to discuss those. I just don't get how she would expect me to free my time for that during a workday to begin with.